Constitutional Law 1, Paper 1. So, we are about to learn about the preamble. So, I'll be starting with the question define preamble. What is the importance of preamble in Indian Constitution? Can it be amended? So, in this question itself, you can see it is defining three main problems, and it is asking us to answer three sub questions. Define preamble. So, first of all, we will be going to define preamble, what it is, and second, what is the importance preamble in Indian Constitution, and third, can it be amended? So I have also bifurcated into three parts. Okay, so first is the preamble. So what is preamble in simple terms? If you see what is preamble, it is just an introductory statement which tell us what the document is all about. So here also I have written like it is an introductory and explanatory statement in a document. So this tells us what is the exact purpose behind the document and what is the philosophy. So we can be like without going thoroughly onto the document, we can just directly see what it is all about in a preamble. So we can also see it as a synopsis, what the like what all things a document contains, or what all the key points. Like in the Indian Constitution, for an instance, we can see that we can see what is the meaning of sovereign, what is a socialist. The document, the Indian Constitution, tells us about justice, equality, liberty, fraternity, etc. Okay, I'm talking about Indian Constitution now. So preamble in Indian Constitution, what it gives us the lawmakers the understanding and gives a guidance and purpose. Okay, now, and why we also preamble is also referred as a spirit and backbone of the Indian Constitution. Because why we call it as, because it gives a brief idea what all the things, major things, is happening in the Constitution. Now the third point is it is an introduction of the statutes. Statutes here is a legislation. If we talk about parliament, we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So what all things they are like forwarding, what are the passing the bills, this is called the legislation. And the power of lawmaking is in the hands of the legislation. So it is an introduction to the statutes. Statutes here means the articles, acts to pass. Like for instance, we can the Citizenship Act 1955. So it is refers as statute. So it is an introduction to the Constitution. A preamble, it is declaration. Like in the last session, last section, you can see after in the preamble itself, you can see preamble in it is a declaratory part at the end. Okay, it's like we are enacting this, we are adopted, enacting, and give to ourselves this constitution on the date 26 November 1950 likewise. Okay, now objective of preamble is that it helps to pass the statute, and it is also helpful in interpretation what all the things we will be covering. And now if we talk about the function, the proper function of the preamble is to explain what all certain words like social, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, what all things they are, we are referring to the Constitution. Just give us the brief idea what all these things are referring. Sovereign means the supreme power of the Constitution. We are having the what supreme power is in the hands of the Constitution. Okay, and some recite certain facts. We talk about equality in terms of freedom and all those stuff. And preamble may be used for other reasons such as to limit. We can break preamble into three parts. Okay, first we are breaking into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, and second we are breaking into justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and to promote unity. And third, to adopt, enact, to give ourselves this constitution, that is a declaratory clause. Now, first, if we talk about sovereign socialist, sovereign means exactly what I have already told, is the supreme and the absolute power. And the concept of sovereignty is taken from Article 5 of the Constitution of Ireland. This is also a very important Constitution of Ireland. Second, socialist. If we refer in the article, in the case Air India Statutory Corporation versus United Labour Union, the Supreme Court held that the status of the main purpose of the concept of sovereign socialist is to give opportunity. How we can give the equal opportunity? By establishing social orders through okay. And now how socialist word has been given, it is by the amendment of 42nd. It is not in the basic. When 26th November, it wasn't there in the preamble, the basic, but it has been amended in the 42nd amendment. Okay, Secular is also known as social order through the rule of law. Okay, and it is also given by the Amendment 42nd. Now, democratic we have the what we call it as a represent equal contribution in the election part, like having democratic in the case of Union of India versus Association for Democratic Reforms, the court held that the democracy is an important essential of a welfare state. So, what is the main purpose? To give the people should get a chance to elect the leaders who can act for the people. Okay. Now, if we talk about the republic means the freedom, like the people of state and the supreme power, and they make independently do what they want to do. They can raise their voices. This we called as a republic, and they transfer the power to the representative. Like we can in India, we have a president, we have prime minister. We by the elections we are like wanted to our representative like on our behalf. He can rule the world. He can rule the India. Sorry. Okay, appointing him as the head of the state, like CM, chief ministers, and legislators, uh, members of parliament, etc. Okay. Now, if we talk about the second thing is to secure justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and to promote unity. Okay, so justice means the term justice means to secure the people from all sorts of inequality. There should be no declaration. Every person should get equal opportunities in whatsoever they want. Like if they want to work in any government sector, they give like they are having some sense. Like they are having some reserved category, but this is not like there's a equal balance, so that we all the people of India can get the equal opportunity. Okay, there should be no discrimination. In case of Air India Situatory Corporation, which is the United Labour Union, the court observed that the aim of this is to secure the political, social, economic interests of the citizen, provide the opportunity and standard of life, and allow them to live dignity. Now, liberty. If we talk about the term liberty, it includes to secure the freedom of the people of their belief through thought, faith. Like it is the liberty means here in freedom. In generally, we call it as a freedom of doing things, but up to the limit. So up to the in Bear versus Nebraska in this case, that there should be no absolute freedom, there should be no absolute liberty, but the freedom with some lawful social control. This is in order to protect the interests of the other people. Equality. Now here the concept of equality means each and every citizens of the country is equal, and the state will work on the concept of equality before law, and every person should have equal opportunity for work, equality in the status. There is no description on basis of religion. There should be no discrimination, and it is also important for the country to equally treat people. Okay, for the development of person and bring the best out of him. Now, fraternity here means the spirit of brotherhood. Like there should be an unity, and there should be no discrimination that you are from. Like we all are living in the same country, and with the same freedoms we have, with the same fundamental duties we have. We all sharing the same pot, and as India is consists of all the other religions. Also, we have several religions, and we have several languages also. So, but we should be in the brotherhood, what or fraternity it's all about. Now the third is a declarative clause, that is adopt, enact, and give ourselves of this constitution. So the people of India, as we started from the we the people of India, is all about the people of India, and who the supreme power is in the hands of the republic of people. Okay, so here is the people of India. So how where they are going, like where they are giving declarity is in the Constituent Assembly. Okay, what they're saying first is adopt. They are adopting what all the things the clause is having, and what the preamble is all about, and they are doing enacting the statement in the declaratory from 20th November 1949, and they've asked themselves to the Constitution. So the sources I pleaders have taken from my pleaders. Now, if we talk about importance, now the second question we actually have to answer is the importance. What is the significance? So, preamble act contains the ideals, the main features of the constitution. Where it is bound to be like what all things a constitution like India constitution wants to achieve in maturity, and it does not grant any power, but it doesn't have any power. Like we cannot bound. tool in the court of law, but it gives direction and the purpose of the constitution. Like in a brief way, if you don't want to go thoroughly on the document, you can just pinpoint to the preamble. You can get this important points, and it outlines the objectives of whole constitution. And these all the things, and we the people, I mean, indicate the sovereignty lies in the supreme power lies in the people, and the constitution emanates from them. So ultimate source is the constitution, is the will of the people. The people is the main thing, and who the people? Republic of India people. Okay, in the case of Reberubari case, in this case there was a 8 judge bench. Okay, so in this it was held that preamble is an introduction to constitution, and no doubt it clears the concept and opens the mind of the makers. Who are the makers? The lawmakers, the constitution makers, and helps in making a constitution. And it doesn't mean that preamble is a part of the constitution. Should be noted that here, it doesn't mean the preamble is a part of the constitution. And whereas in the Keshav Nanda Bharti case, first point, the judges held that it is benched by 13 judges, and in this it is held that the preamble is a part of the constitution, the major change. Okay, so preamble is the introduction of the constitution, same as Birubari, and but here preamble is not source of power, but played an important role in the interpretation of statutes. Okay, now the third question: can it be amended? So in the 42nd Amendment 1976 is the Keshav Nanda Bharti case. In this judgment, Keshav Nanda, it was accepted that the preamble is a part of constitution. It is a part of constitution, uh, but as per uh, okay, as a part of the constitution, preamble can be amended under Article 368 of the constitution, but the basic structure should not be amended. The basic structure, the basic things, the major things which can be actually made the preamble cannot, it itself cannot be amended. So it only amended once in the 42nd Amendment Act 1976, and the term social and secular integrity added in the 42nd Amendment Act 1976, and social secular were added in between sovereign democratic unity, unity and integrity of the nation. Okay. Now, the last few words which actually I had written by myself is a conclusion. What I actually conclude that preamble is an interpretation of the Constitution. It gives you a brief idea of the Constitution, and the significance here is the Indian Constitution. It helps the lawmakers in majority to frame the work and major points like how the Constitution be made, like social democracy, and it is a basic framework, cannot be used in the court of law. This should be. Thank you so much.